Hello everyone, and welcome to another Starcraft 2 replay. This one's going to take place on Lost Temple. I'm spawning in the 9 o'clock position as the Orange Terran. And my opponent, Phoenix, is spawned in the 3 o'clock position as the Purple Protoss. And this isn't actually a ladder match, this is a custom match just because I wanted to test out a new build order. But as it so happens, my opponent happened to be Diamond League anyways, so... oh well, looks like I got to play a real opponent. Also, this strategy, if you see it, I do not suggest it versus Protoss. Protoss is the one race I definitely don't want to use against. Terran, I'm on the fence. Zerg, it may have some potential, but of course this is in its infancy as it's the first time I've attempted it, and I'm sure it's going to need a good 50 games worth of tweaking to see if I can even make it viable. So I am going for my fast expand build order. Probe on SCV action going on here. Ooh, you move too slow. So, I started thinking a little bit about this build order because after I get my planetary fortress up, I usually pull all my guys off gas just so I can get my barracks up. And then I'm thinking, you know what, I got 2 refineries here doing nothing. I got 2 more Vespian geysers available. This is a lot of early gas I could have if I so chose to get it. So I was trying to think of different strategies I could use with that. And I got my idea from just looking at the engineering bay, and I was looking at this upgrade right here in particular. And yeah, as you can see, +1 range to auto turrets. I always thought missile turrets and planetary fortress, but auto turrets too. And point defense drones. So we're going to attempt mass ravens, and we'll see how this turns out. Protoss is taking his expansion now. He is still a little bit ahead in harvester count, so we should say pretty even, I think. And just going off of the 1 gas, that's not the best place, cybernetics core. Probably want to do this 1 notch further out, just so it won't be blocking the Vespian geyser, which it appears to be. And keeping his gateways pretty unused, but I guess that's safe. He has scouted that I've gone for my fortress fast expand, so he knows there's no push coming from me. So unfortunately I don't get to get any free unit kills crashing into my fortress, which would be handy for this build order, as I think normally I'd be very susceptible in the early game, I would think, because I don't really have anything out. Once I get my first Raven out, I can make a auto turret, which is pretty good. So getting down my 2nd starport now. Upgrading energy for Ravens, I think that's probably the most important upgrade to start. Observer in my base, so at least I'll be able to spot those. So let's see what else is going on here. When I did my fast expand builder, I did put 6 on gas rather than the normal 5. And then I got these 2 gas up pretty quickly, so I have been stockpiling gas, although it's kind of evening out now that I'm starting to make Ravens, and Ravens are super gas heavy, 100 minerals to 200 gas. So my other problem is I'm going to be stocking up a lot of minerals, and that's something I'm going to have to deal with for future attempts on this build order. I'll find somebody to use that minerals. Maybe get stim and combat shields, and then just start pumping up marines just to use up that energy. Or use up those mineral counts, or maybe just a bunch of bunkers and marines, or maybe all those things. So I'm setting up my first 4 Ravens, and this is going to be the first time I've probably ever used Ravens, so fun stuff. So there's actually lots of upgrades you can get for auto turrets. I think I'll slow it down to normal faster speed here. At the engineering bay, you can get the +1 range upgrade and structural armor both work. So auto turrets actually have 150 hit points and 3 armor once you get that upgrade. Just taking the high ground here. And I think a point defense drone to take down the stalker hits, but let's not back that up and take a look at the point defense drones here. So point defense drone has 200 energy, and each shot takes 10 energy. So basically it's going to stop about 20 shots, maybe 21. So from a stalker, that's 14 damage per hit. So it's stopping 280 damage, or maybe 294. But a point defense drone costs 100 energy, whereas the auto turret only costs 50. So I could have placed 2 auto turrets instead, and they actually soak up 300 damage as well because they have 150 hit points, and even more because they have 3 armor. So yeah, in a spot like this versus just something like stalkers, the point defense drone is a waste of energy. It makes more sense just to throw down more auto turrets. And not only do auto turrets soak up more hit points, but they're also doing damage where point defense drones aren't. So I think under almost any case, just save the point defense drones as like an emergency thing to keep your ravens alive. So if stalkers intercepted my ravens flying by, I would just throw down a couple point defense drones just so I can get my ravens out without them all dying. And it looks like he's going pure stalker versus me. That's probably in response to the ravens. Now, the one reason I didn't want to do this strategy versus Protoss is just because of Templar feedback would be like a ridiculously hard counter versus ravens. They'd usually pop the ravens, and if nothing else, just get rid of all their energy. So it looks like an A move, so it's going to have trouble getting all these stalkers in range. But also with the repair, this fortress is in good shape. 1100 hit points. Finally pushing his units in, so they're all in range. It's a good blink micro, just pulling back units that are getting hit. And I'm going to come in for another little counterattack here. The same with the ravens today, I'm able to take out the observers. Now once again you can't see the high ground. I could spam down these auto turrets quite a bit faster than what I did, but once again, point defense drone, waste of energy, I believe. Just throwing a couple more up on the high ground here would have been a lot better. At the same time, he did warp in some stalkers to intercept these guys, so I am going to have to flee. And he's coming in and cleaning up these guys. But with his observer down, these high ground ones are completely safe, which probably means I should have just spread them all along here if I thought about it. One other tactic I've noticed, a lot of weak stalkers always end up surviving these battles. It's those ones, this one, this one. I should actually control click my auto turrets when I have the chance and try to use them for focus fire, rather than just letting them do whatever they want to do. So at the same time I am floating out a couple expansions, actually 3 expansions. And that's because if you check out my mineral count, I have, yeah, a lot of minerals to spend. You probably bring in, what, 5 minerals for every 1 Vespian, and I'm spending 2 Vespian for every 1 minerals, so. Another thing you can do is just pump out a lot more Marines. And you might say, well, why don't you put on a reactor to pump out more Marines? That probably wouldn't be smart, because that's 50 gas that could go towards Ravens. What you can do, though, is just throw down like 10 barracks, because barracks only cost minerals, and minerals you got plenty of. So I guess I'll speed it up a touch. Looks like Protoss is taking the high yield. And making planetaries. Not quite sure exactly why, but suppose the extra defense doesn't hurt. Bring up the units tab. We see we have 16 Ravens now versus 24 Stalkers, a couple Colossus, 2 Zealots, 1 Observer. Throwing down more barracks now, but really with 4,000 minerals I should have thrown down about 10, and I should have just queued them up to the max with Marines. So it looks like he did find this expansion. He's kind of poked in, but he's waiting for 4 Colossi, and there's really nothing Ravens can do versus Colossi. And at this point I'm like, forget this. Let's just sack the space. We'll mine as much gas as we can and keep it alive as long as we can. In the meantime, it's time to counterattack. All these attackers would be so much better if I didn't get the point defense drone. Kind of a waste. So he's going to clean this up, but yeah, it looks like this is actually going to finish off the space. I think I got most of the drones too. Not sure if he fled them or not. Probes, I should say. And looks like I'm going to get the Nexus. Nice. Warping some Stalkers up top to help protect this base. I think we got a bunch of cannons and Stalkers, but he's going to pull back from there. And that probably isn't a bad choice. I mean, that would have been a tough battle for him. Plus, it looks like he's going to have the opportunity to just finish off my base here. And I do come back. I drop a couple Hunter-Seeker missiles, or just Seeker missiles, I guess they're called now. And that's even a bigger waste of energy. It's really all about the auto turrets, especially once you get the upgrades. I don't even set all the upgrades. There's an energy upgrade for Ravens, and then there's an upgrade that makes your auto turrets last for 4 minutes, which is a really long time, actually. And then you get the armor upgrade and the range upgrade, and they're pretty sweet. I guess there is cases where point defense drone is good to keep your Ravens alive, and then I guess there's, against certain clusters of units, maybe the Seeker missile works well. Not against Stalkers, but maybe like a pile of Banelings or something like that. Like one missile should be able to pop a whole ton of them at once. So it did fly my star parts out, so I'm trying to get some more Ravens down, because I am even stockpiled in gas right now.